everyone, this is David Ellis, and I'm here with Dr. Amir Jahangiri. And today we're going to be doing a bit of a special on the UCM creatives. These are creative people who we are collaborating with, who have a lot of talent, who are also into the spiritual spectrum. And so what we're going to be doing is getting in touch with, well, their creative side and showing you guys what they have to offer. Before we start, Amir, talk to these people.
Thank you, David. Ladies and gentlemen, my warmest greetings to you. Thank you so much for being here with us. We've got an amazing show prepared for you. We've got outstanding, creative, spiritual, beautiful people here with us. And so today we're going to be asking them to introduce themselves, talk a little bit about their journey, how their art and creativity came to fruition, how it came to blossom, and what they can teach you from their own experience. So this is going to be really amazing.
Yeah, and so a lot of you might be wondering why we're doing this. We're doing this to let you know that in the spiritual community, there are people actually offering you guys services, and it would be better not to get exploited. So we've actually met these people and spoken to them, and so they have a number of expertise which they would like to share with you. I'm not going to talk for very long. I'm going to go from left, right. Sorry, I'm not good with left and right. We're going to start with Anthony, and then we're going to go down the line. Anthony, and the rest of you, just introduce yourself.
Hey, g'day guys, my name's Anthony. I'm married to Sharelight over there, you can see in the little panel. We're from Australia, on the East Coast near Newcastle. I'm recently retired from military, so I've got a bit of time now to explore all the creative things I kind of put aside. Yeah, when I jumped on that journey probably 20 odd years ago. So yeah, how much info do you want from an intro, David?
Where do you operate from? What are your skill sets?
Rightio. We're on the East Coast, we're in Newcastle, but we can we work with people all around the world. I have customers in most countries. Latest customer was in New Zealand. We're working with Roxandra in Romania. So yeah, that's the beauty of living this kind of virtual life. Yeah, it's a virtual life, isn't it? You can work anywhere in the world and work with anybody, which is great.
Excellent.
Yeah, so main skill set, I guess, is visual arts, photography, digital art. Lately it's more with video editing. I think I'd really like to go to some kind of movie school so I can start doing high level productions and video editing, color grading, sound engineering. I'm a nerd, if you didn't know, David.
Yeah, I kind of figured that out. Roxandra, talk to us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me, first of all. And I'm really, really grateful to be here and to be working with you. It is an honor, honestly. And I don't know what to start with. I am a visual artist, like Anthony. I'm focused on creating graphic design, but I also paint sometimes, and I'm into 3D animation sometimes. So I'm like oscillating from one thing to another, but my main expertise is branding, and I focus on creating branding for spiritual coaches, mentors, and people from the spiritual community, because it's more this is what I'm passionate about also, because I'm also a Reiki healer. I'm Reiki initiate, not currently doing healings, but I am kind of focused on doing spiritual branding because it's easier for me, and I understand the field very well, and I know how to shift from a symbolic perspective to a commercial perspective, and I can bring these two aspects together and create something integrated. And so far I have had positive experiences and positive reviews from people, and I'm really grateful to be here because I know that I am meeting the right kind of people who are genuine, and this is the type of people that I want to help, like the people who can change the world. If I cannot change directly, at least through visual art, I can help them do what's necessary, so to speak.
Yeah, and guys, Roxandra is the one who painted that past life image of Amir Jahangiri and also Laura Massey. So if you wanted to know about her skill set, yeah, there we go.
This is a newly discovered gift.
And it's amazing. I remember being in this body. So it really,
I don't know. I feel I've
powerful.
channeled something, to be honest. I mean, I wasn't completely controlling what I was doing.
Isn't that an amazing gift?
That is an amazing gift, absolutely. And last but not least, we have Kylie. Sharing light is an understatement. Oh my God. For those of you who remember that revocation that we posted, where Amir, myself, and Nikki the Crochet voiced that revocation, here is the author. Her name is Kylie Polmowski. And yeah, Kylie has a lot to share with you. Kylie, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Kylie Palmowski and my business name is Share Light. And the reason that that comes about is to share information streams of light that are positive and beneficial. If it's not healing Mother Earth and her inhabitants, then I don't want to know about it. So I'm a spiritual writer. I've always had a pen in my hand. I'm either making a grocery list or I'm writing notes on gratitude journaling and writing revocations, invocations, protections. I send them out to family, friends, pets, planets, animals, planetary influences. I mean, I just told off the Mercury retrograde yesterday. So
awesome.
You can't mess with us in this household. So I like to write is the end state. But I also have been really passionate about, I love tarot reading, oracle card readings are definitely a passion of mine. And I have to admit, I have a pendulum in my household. So I absolutely love my crystal pendulums, my metal pendulums. Everything becomes a pendulum in this house.
Okay, it's not like we totally don't understand where you're coming from.
Well, it's a pendulum party.
I absolutely love my pendulums. Yes, thank you, Amir. Oh.
We're pendulum buddies, yes?
I honestly thought that I was the only weirdo, but
no, you're in the right company, Kylie.
No.
Absolutely. So yeah, I really love that, and I'm into crystal gridding as well. As Anthony told Nikki recently, he was not under duress. He did this out of curiosity. I asked him to come out with me one night because I needed to place a crystal, bury it into the earth, because we were actually living on a military base at the time. I work for the army. I'm not in the army. I work for the army and support them. And where we were living on the patch, there was such a negative energy that I could feel it shaking under the ground where I was living, and people were being really influenced by that. So I did a revocation and invocation upon the crystal and did a lot of prayer work over it at the time. It took a long time to build that up, to put into that crystal, but I buried that crystal late at night. We must have looked hilarious. We both had headlamps on and, and a shovel in the middle of the night.
You had
military base.
You had headlamps and you were stalking around a military base. And the night. Wow.
So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
All right, we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna go and interview you guys one by one. So let's start with Anthony. Anthony, you take some unearthly photos. How did you get started with the photography? And tell us everything about it. And also, I also want you to give those people who take pictures and put them online some advice, some basic advice that will help them up level their profile pic game.
Okay. I got into this probably 20 years ago or so. It started as a hobby. I found I had a little bit of talent with it. And so I decided to push myself into it a bit more heavily. I went and did all the courses. And I started winning a small handful of competitions. And I thought, oh, this is pretty nice. And I was always engaged initially by people. I just wanted to shoot portraits and that kind of stuff. And I was influenced by my instructor at the time who told me, Anthony, if you want to be a landscape photographer, I'll buy you a mirror so you can watch yourself starve to death. And it sounds funny, but I took that on board.
No, it is extremely funny, but go ahead.
And I thought, well, shit, I better not be a landscape photographer because I need to eat. And so I kind of focused on people at that point. But working with people is a double-edged sword, you see. And you can have a handful of great sessions, but then if you're shooting weddings, are you familiar with the term bridezilla?
Yes.
Right. Well, I had a few consecutive bridezillas.
Oh, God.
And it absolutely knocked the wind out of me. And I thought, I can't do this. And it also became pretty clear that when you're forced into a creative mode, it becomes like a job. And so if it's a job, I found it really hard to turn that tap on and off all the time. And I learned to despise that. And I kind of put the camera down for a long time, refused to work with any more bridezillas. And so my photography game is really, it's kind of cycled, you know. I'll do a lot and then I won't do any. I'll do a lot, then I won't do any. Yeah, but I guess in all that time you practice different things. You work with your craft and your skill set, and you just keep working on things. I look at a lot of photography. I admire a lot of artists. I follow a lot of great photographers, and you look at work and you think, oh, I'd like to be like that. So you're always aspiring to something, always learning something new on how to post-process. And I guess one of the biggest things that anyone with a camera, even a phone camera, can learn is to always just pick one little thing to improve in each image, even if it's down to something simple like a level horizon line. And there's a wealth of information on the internet. YouTube is just rife with excellent photography information. So anyone who's picking that up and wanting to explore it, I think they've got a vast amount of information at their free disposal.
Okay.
Anthony, can I ask you something? Does
Yeah,
photography have to be an expensive art form, or can it be done cheaply by somebody who's just beginning?
That's a really good question, Amy. When I did my freelance portfolio of work, I had a really shit camera, and my brother had a slightly less shit camera. It was the cheapest one you could find. And the photo that I took with his camera won an award up against something that might have been 10 times more expensive. So you could use absolutely anything. You can take an amazing photograph with your mobile phone. So there's really no barrier for entry here.
If somebody, excuse me, if somebody has that passion, if they have that drive to capture something that they see, it doesn't necessarily have to be very costly. They can just pick up their smartphone and let the magic happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you probably see it these days. We're very content rich. You just need to have a look on Instagram or Facebook, and the feeds are just constantly people uploading information. So I guess the challenge for an aspiring photographer is how to compete in a market that's so dilute with images.
I think I'm going to chime in here. One of the reasons why I was so excited about doing UCM Creatives is because, yeah, you would know that I've done everything that you guys have done at some point in time in my life, right? From the visual arts, I did work for an advertising agency, and photography as well. I used to paint, draw, all of that good stuff. Won a couple of competitions for my art, actually. And so I think we're in today's market where everybody's doing that, to take your point, Anthony, what you absolutely need to do might be to specialize in a particular area. And a lot of these areas are already, how should I put this in a nice way? They're already saturated with people. So there's a whole bunch of landscape people out there. There's a whole bunch of people who are doing impressionist art, as an example. There are very few people that are doing art for the spiritual community. And I say this because I'm a little bit of a nerd, like Anthony, a different kind of nerd, but I'm a nerd nonetheless, right? And I do go to galleries and so on. And whenever I see people painting portraits geared towards the spiritual community, it's usually this dark kind of art. And I'm like, that is not going to go in my house anywhere. Okay. You know, it's kind of like Milton's Paradise Lost level art. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, or Dante's Inferno.
Perfect for the bedroom wall.
Yeah, perfect for the bedroom wall, like little like levels of hell and so on. And so, guys, if you want to do art and you are in the spectrum for spirituality and so on, this is one of the areas where if you are an artist, it will just flow. That would be your channel. Okay. I know that ever since I started doing art, I only painted or drew or tried to take pictures of things which had an esoteric significance. It's a different vibration when you do that. And I was one of those serial artists. Like, you give me a canvas and I would forget to eat from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, just looking at this thing. So I know exactly the pain that artists go through when you try to get them to disconnect from the canvas and so on. When you're doing art and stuff like that, I just think that it's a good idea to go into markets that you know resonate with who you are as an individual. And there is an open market in the spiritual community. If you're not painting like Dante's Inferno and creepy stuff and like eyeballs falling out of the head, never mind. Right, so I suppose we should go on to Roxandra. Roxandra, tell us about yourself. Tell us where you operate from. Tell us about your magic, please.
Thank you, David. So I did studies, like I went to the University of Arts, but before that I was forced to go into economical studies by my family because they believe that this is how I'm going to earn money, but I didn't manage.
Let me just cut you right there. My first, look, I was on scholarship, but my first degree was in fine arts.
Exactly the same.
And everybody's like, what are you doing with your life? What?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then I found myself, like when I started fine arts, I really found my soul, and I was like, the professors were amazed because I didn't follow a high school, so they really appreciated me. But then I had to take a break. I didn't know what to do in my life, and I only got back to doing the master's degree from 2017 to 2019. And for my dissertation, I did like sort of I got into this esoteric knowledge, like I wanted to create maps for the whole structure of the universe, both unseen realms and seen realms, and I wanted to coalesce everything into a website or something that people can see, like this is the quantum level, this is the cellular level, and I wanted to draw everything, and I kind of got obsessed into this type of morphogenesis combined with my astral experiences. And then I got into painting alien landscapes, and I was always passionate about the cosmos and everything, but I also had some experiences with some beings. I won't go into that too much, but like I was very, very passionate about the cosmos and stars and planets and everything. And now, for a few years, apart from doing the branding work, I'm focusing on creating alien landscapes and sculptures. I have brought some here. I don't know if I don't want to bore you with.
No, no,
No,
this
please
is
go
not
ahead.
good.
Just this is like a painting,
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
and
We can
I'm
see it.
focused-
We can
That's
see it.
beautiful.
I'm focusing also on crystals, and I'm trying to bring together this aspect of how our realities are structured. Through understanding the landscape, I can understand the landscape of the mind, how we have different strata, and crystals have helped me.
Oh my God.
This is the
Incredible.
northern crater where the Moldavite has formed in Germany. If you
Incredible.
know, well, you
Amazing.
know the crystal Moldavite. I mean, anyone in the spiritual community
I've got a
knows.
big chunk of it around my
And
neck. Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome. And
I have
I
3
want to
pieces of
create
it
an
behind me.
exhibition and focus on Moldavite. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Like I'm trying to combine alien landscapes with crystals, with understanding this topology of the mind and how the spirit operates in between worlds. I'm trying to formulate a knowledge in order for me to be able to express it in words, basically through painting and doing. Then I articulate it in the back of my mind, and I try to formulate this knowledge because I feel no one does it, and I don't know, I want to do it myself. I want to understand how come, for instance, during the night, I go in the astral level, right? How can I come back into the body, and with what levels do I cross? And it has been shown to me, for instance, in dream time, I have seen that level with pattern, like the quantum or something, the atomic, and I've seen that it's really structured symmetrically as you would watch a pattern, you know, and like I'm crossing that level. And when I do that, I understand what it is. Or for instance, people who drink ayahuasca, I haven't done it, but like I want to see a person that says exactly, oh, I've been this level where I see the symmetries or something. Ah, this is the, I don't know, the space of color or the spectral space or something. I want someone to
Wow.
properly do like scientifically, ah, this is the space where light is created and is symmetrical because the space is folded, and of course light will become symmetrical too, and this is how it's formed. Or I don't want to be like, I don't want to be, because I don't know either, like I'm trying to figure it out, but like I want to.
That's pretty amazing.
You try
I
to
see.
figure it out. I think you have it figured out. Listen, don't
what
sell
you-
yourself cheap. Listen, there are going to be a whole bunch of people who are watching this broadcast who would love a quarter of what you have to take what's in and make it out. Okay? And that is something that we said, like, I'm looking at your landscape and so on. I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, most people who are in the spiritual spectrum, they meditate, they see things inside their heads, and then it's done. They can't recapture it. To have somebody that can capture what's inside and bring it out it's like a gift, really, right? Because you may have amazing experiences, right? And especially in dream time. If you're a meditator and you are sleeping, not meditating, you're sleeping, the channel that you've opened when you have been meditating allows you to experience different dimensions, different areas of yourself, because you are more, for want of a better word, I don't know how to put this, travel ready. You're more travel ready. And then you wake up and then you remember the dream, but that's it. You can't describe it to another person. You can't express it. And so to have the skill to do that, I would like to make a suggestion to you, Roxandra. It may be in your best interest to become a teacher of painting unconscious art. And the reason why I say that to you is because there's a whole bunch of people out there that would like to express everything you just did there in real time, and they can't because they don't have the skill set, and they've never picked up a paintbrush. And it's kind of like, I try to explain to people, half the reason why people don't actually experience visual arts is because they think they can't do it. They look at other people's skill level.
That's a limitation.
They look at other people's skill level and they say, I can't do that. But they never picked up a brush. They never picked up a pencil even and tried to sketch or anything like that. And it might be in your best interest to just do that. And you don't have to go anywhere to do that. You can do that over Zoom and so on. And if you're doing that, we would absolutely love to facilitate that. So for those of y'all who are interested in that kind of stuff, DM David and Amir and make sure. What's that?
Oh, pigeon. Like I don't know what to focus on first, because like I want to create art and I want to help people heal through art, and this is one of my focus. But at the same time, I want to create this business aspect and help people open up a spiritual business and talk shamelessly about this, about the strategy for clients. And I love to do branding, and this is the practical.
Tell us about your branding business. What is your concept of branding? So I come to you as a spiritual person. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm a healer. You asked
Hello,
me.
healer. Welcome.
Okay. Yeah. So I need branding for my business. Let's run this. I need branding for my business.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to open this healing center, and we're going to be doing sound healing. What can you do for me?
Oh, that sounds nice. So I can do anything from brand strategy, logo creation, website design, social media assets, and custom ads for when you want to create mastermind or a live event or anything concerning something that you offer to the client. And we can start by focusing a bit on what's your objective and what you are hoping to create, like a rough guideline, because I want to know more about what you have in mind before we start to create the logo. Usually people rush into creating the logo, but first we need to talk a bit about what you have in mind, what's your target clients, and like, you know, this practical aspect. And then we will start by creating mood boards, discovering a bit your taste, your essence, what you are feeling drawn to. And then slowly we will create some versions for the logo and proper branding guideline in order for you to employ it everywhere on your website, on Facebook, on Instagram. We will be focusing on a particular branch. Maybe you want to use more Facebook. Maybe you want to focus more on your website or Insta. And we will create something that's coherent, consistent, and attractive enough for people to come actually. And
well, here's the problem. I'm not very creative. I'm a total brick when it comes to these things. So I'm going to need some help, because I like if you ask me what my brand is, I'm going to probably tell you that I kind of like purple. I'm not kind of sure which purple, but purple comes to mind. What do you go from there?
Purple is good. That's a good start. But apart from purple, for instance, do you have certain things that inspire you maybe? What are your values? Maybe you're focused more on wisdom or courage or cultivating power. What really drives you in your life? We can start from some keywords and define a bit where your area of interest is.
Okay, cool. Well, I haven't actually found a name for my business yet. I know I want it to be something like healing, but that's like a cliche. Is can you offer me any help there? Because like I thought about David's Healing Center. That's
Mhm.
really
We
cliche. I
can
don't think it'll get too many like hits. You know what I mean? So.
We can have different approaches here. Like, for
Mhm.
instance, we can create a powerful person online that's you, David,
Mhm.
and we can push you forward as a healer, and we can have the branding focused around you. And there's a lot of brands that focus on simply the name
Ah,
of the
like George
person
Foreman's Grill.
without the grill
Like,
part.
yes, I get it. I get it. You're right. Yeah, but nobody
In a
knows
way.
me that kind of way. So I suppose I should probably focus on the practice of what I'm doing. Uh,
Yes,
yeah, and
definitely.
yeah, you get confused about what to do, you know. Branding is such a hard job. How are you going to simplify this for me?
So we can focus on what you do and really have the brand reflect that, the action. Like if you're, for instance, if you are a Reiki healer,
Mhm.
we can simply focus on the Reiki aspect and find something that resonates with the Reiki and incorporate a symbol. Like for instance, for the naming, like I did for Share Light, for instance. Like,
Mhm.
let's take this example. So the brand is focused on around Reiki, but also it has incorporated the element of sigil that is particular to the contracts, and she's focused on contract revocation. And we've basically merged these two aspects of Reiki, healing, light, and the sigil aspect. But for instance, if you are a healer and you are not necessarily focused on a healing modality, but a holistic healer, maybe we want to use the word holistic or something that evokes this aspect and use the color purple and encode a symbol, or simply use the name and something powerful like I don't know, um
Maybe
I
with
don't know,
sound
maybe we can find,
resonant.
yeah, I would start from doing list of words like healing, sounds, or powerful, or holistic, and anything like a list of 15 words or something. And then I will work on combining them and see where we're
Excellent.
going.
Thank you so much. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. I feel
Thank
better.
you.
I feel better now. I need to go to my revocation writer to revoke any other contracts I have with other entities to do my branding so I could sign on with you. Kylie Palmowski, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Kylie and I'm a spiritual writer of contract revocations, invocations, and protections.
Mhm.
So essentially, we've all come to Earth with certain contracts
Mhm.
that we want to fulfill, and there are interferences ranging from off-worlder beings to your own DNA lineage ancestors, past, present, and future lives.
Mhm.
And they're all having a say in how you live your life. And basically, the thing that you walk past is the standard that you accept.
Mhm.
So if you don't pay attention, you've accepted a standard and you
Mhm.
keep living by that habitually. Those habit patterns are usually being influenced by others and also yourself, self-created, I don't want to say demons, but like a program
Mhm.
in the subconscious mind, and that requires reprogramming. So I do a lot of work with, I love Dr. Emoto with working with water and the words that are spoken, the power of your voice, intention, and emotion into the water. Your body is mostly made up of water. So what are you saying to that water? There is evidence out there supporting the fact that if you say hateful things to a glass of water, it's going to go somewhere that changes the whole structure of it. If you say beautiful, loving, kind, compassionate things to the water, then what's that going to do? And it creates the beautiful snowflake effects. And I highly recommend anyone that hasn't discovered Dr. Emoto yet to go and look at that, because what you speak, it becomes. And so if you're speaking these words, you are basically manifesting in the physical. You're calling something through to yourself as through your belief system, and consciously manifesting that into your everyday life. And then you are not only affecting yourself with that, you are putting that out there to the world. And the world does not need to clean up your mess, you do. You're having an impact. And so it comes back to responsibility. So awareness and responsibility for how you think, what you think of others. It impacts other people, and it's none of your business to think and judge other people, nor yourself. It's it all comes down to being able to revoke everything that you've ever learned, go and unlearn it and relearn something different. So revoke non-beneficial and negative energies and entities and beings, even down to the home that you're living in. So I absolutely, this is probably a 1990s thing, but I absolutely loved the concept of feng shui, where you could go through and place furniture in your house and speak something nice to it and call the ancestors of the land that you're living on to come and bless you, and then an offering to them. So you go and plant some beautiful plants and you dedicate those plants to them, you keep them alive, you water them, you nurture them. Thank you, ancestors, for this harmonious balance of living on the land. And so you don't have to just write something down and speak it out and revoke it. You can just I walk around my house revoking and invoking, and I probably look like a mad woman. I just walk around the house talking to myself. Is what it looks like. But essentially I do
We're gonna ask that question soon.
Patients of everything. All right. So anything that's happening to you, take the responsibility for it at the end of the day, and revoke it if you don't like it. If it's not giving you the good feels, revoke it, and do it with intention and emotion and focus. You have to focus on it, because it's just not going to happen if you can't change your belief system. You can't just regurgitate the words like it's nothing and then walk away. You have to keep building up that energy.
Excellent. So I want to do an exercise right now that we've gotten to know these guys. I'm going to totally geek out with Anthony first of all. Then I'm going to get all artsy with Roxandra and Amir. You can chime in at any time and ask us questions.
I'm just going to be my happy self.
And we're going to get all into the spiritual with
sing the happy song while you guys do your thing.
All right. No, we're not getting another earworm. I still have Candy Mountain Charlie in my head, and I can't get it out. Anthony, let's talk shop. And I mean Photoshop, I mean photography and all that sort of stuff. I've seen some of your stuff, amazing stuff.
Thank you.
There's a whole bunch of people out there that are like, I want to pick this man's brain. So I'm going to ask you the questions that are being channeled to me from the rest of the members of the audience right now. First of all, I take horrible profile pics. I don't know what. It's like, I don't know what my best side is. I just don't get it. What are your suggestions immediately for me?
Okay. I'd firstly say to everyone that I've met struggles with pictures of themselves. They don't like pictures of themselves. They don't like to be in photos in general. So I think there are things you can do to, if you've got that problem and there are features in your face that you don't like, you can certainly, move the camera in a different direction Have you heard a phrase of,
So I could put down my makeup kit?
yeah, treat yourself.
Go ahead.
If you're a lady, go and have your hair done. Go and do something that's going to at least give you a bit of self-confidence that at least my hair's nice, and then, I don't know, put some light makeup on. And there's a term in film, I think, called loving the light. Have you heard that before?
Yes.
Right. So you can do that. So if you had your phone, you can hold your phone up while you're taking your selfie, and you can just kind of spin around in the light and see the play of light and shadow on your face. And eventually you can find something that's flattering to your face. It maybe gives you less wrinkles, or there's a nice play of shadow, or you can shoot at a certain time of day where the sun is golden and gives you a nice complexion. So you don't just have to settle for, oh, I'm going to stare into a screen and click. Oh God, I hate that. But there's a profile pic.
You do know that a whole cross-section of people do exactly what you just did, right? Click. So guys, as a general rule, a camera uses light. I'm going to geek out with Anthony right now. And so if you have an iPhone or a Samsung or an Android phone, you won't have to play around too much with light settings. So just find some front-facing light. If you're going to take a picture of your face, don't stand with your back towards some light and try to take a picture of yourself. It's not going to end well for any camera. And you're going to look like you just emerged from the from some afterlife place. Guys, don't do it. Play around and experiment with light. Make sure that it's front-facing. That's the first thing. So we're going to talk about ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. I listened to this broadcast. I have decided, Anthony, you've inspired me. I am going to get my first DSLR, means digital single lens reflex. Okay. I'm going to get my first camera, and I go to Best Buy and I say to the man, just shut up and take my money. Give me something high end. Okay. I say to the guy at Best Buy, just shut up and take my money. And the guy at Best Buy says, well, you know, we have these boring little ones here, but then there's this one for $8,000, which will do everything you want. And first thing we want to say, I don't know if you agree with me, it ain't the size of the camera that matters. All right. Like in everything else. Okay. All right. It's not the size of the price tag that matters. It's your skill level with the camera. Anthony, what camera do you use normally? What brand and what model?
I've got a couple of different ones. I started with Canon. I've now got a Sony. As you said, it's not the brand anymore that really is going to differentiate anything. But everything, every tool has a function. So I shoot a lot of landscape. So there's a wide variety of lenses for landscape. You need a wide angle lens for capturing a large amount of information. So, you know, if you want to shoot big landscapes, most people will be using wide angle lenses, but sometimes I'll use zoom lenses as well. If you're working with people, you'll use a specific lens that has a range of maybe 70 to 200, because you get a really nice focal length and you get nice background blur, and it makes you look skinny. People like to look skinny. So don't use a wide angle lens on a fat woman. It's not good business.
Yes, understood.
Because it makes everything look wide, and she doesn't want to look wide, okay? So you'll be reshooting that one.
There's something else I'd like to ask about. So when we're in different moods, we look different. So I think it's important that if you're taking a photograph of somebody, you make them laugh, you make them feel happy. And if you're doing a self-portrait, watch something really amusing that makes you laugh, a deep belly laugh. It activates different muscles in the face. You look totally different compared when you're angry and pissed off.
But
Don't take a portrait when you're pissed off.
but Amir, what if I'm taking a photo shoot of goths?
Oh yeah, those goths, no expression. That's not.
Like,
You gotta take that.
smile.
Yeah, you gotta use a feather for that. Yeah, you tickle them. Laugh. Once they break down in laughter, that's when you push the button. Yeah.
Makeup everywhere. Look, so Anthony, in terms of the ISO, if you guys have bought a camera, there's the things that you might not want to pay attention to. There's a shutter speed if you're going to do moving, which probably you're not going to do. If you're in the spiritual community, it's not like you're going to take pictures of yourself jumping over hurdles and stuff. So the shutter speed is not necessarily that important, but the light is important. ISO is the setting on your camera. Anthony, in terms of portrait photos, what do you recommend, especially for spiritual people who really want their personality, the lights that's inside, whether there is or not, but whatever light that's inside, they want it showing out. So the light is going to be the most important thing for them. You have any settings for them in terms of their camera? Because I think some phones actually have the ISO setting on them. They actually have a light setting on them as well. So
my recommendation would be to not take it yourself. That's the first thing. And Amir mentioned that you get natural smiling, laughing shots, like candid shots. So if you want a good photo of yourself, ask your friend to take it, talk to another friend that you like talking to, engage in a funny conversation while that friend snaps away some photos, and you'll get a lovely candid shot of you in your natural state with a nice smile. And you don't need to do anything special. On a phone these days, the technology is so good that you just need to press a button and you'll take a pretty damn good shot. You don't need to go full manual mode. But if you really want to get into photography as a profession or a more serious art form, then you can learn the technical aspects to make it better. But 9 times out of 10, the auto mode will do magic. And then the other 1 time out of 10, you press one of those stupid things that a filter, and all of a sudden you'll have a puppy dog nose and perfect skin.
Thank you for that. That's actually very good advice. Roxandra, I'm about to get all artsy with you. I am schizophrenic. Did you not know? All right, let us get into the arts. Roxandra, I think that people say art is expression, okay? And they say it's the other side of the whole science thing, okay? Now, a lot of people, as I said earlier on, are afraid to take up a brush. They're afraid to take up a pencil and so on. As a spiritual person, right? As a brick, as an example, what can art do for me to help me connect more with spirituality within myself?
First of all, I think that art can help you gain that autonomy of thought and movement. Apart from, like, for instance, what I've noticed, the first thing that I've noticed on myself is that I didn't have autonomy. Like, for instance, I was functioning a lot on mirror neurons, and whenever I was close to someone, because I was an empath, I was like, if someone was doing this with the hand, I would like instinctively want to do the same, or like I didn't have much control on my emotions either. And the first thing that art has helped me gain was autonomy. I gained my autonomy back. Let alone the fact that it has helped me connect more with my internal state. And you can use art like a meditative practice, like you can use it almost like a ceremonial practice. If you grab a brush and a piece of paper and some colors, and you just start to like allow yourself, your body to move in the direction that you want it to move, you can simply go in a alpha state immediately, almost, especially if you take a color that you love. And you can use that. For instance, you can, I don't know, light an incense stick or some candles. You can take a piece of paper or even a canvas and some colors that you love and a brush, and you can simply start to allow your inner being to express itself in the way it wants to express itself. Some people love to create acrylic pourings, like take some acrylic paints and pour them on a canvas and then play with the shapes and forms. And other people love to create collages of colored, I don't know, images, different textures, paints. You can do mixed media. You can sculpt also, not only paint. I mean, you can do almost anything.
Yeah. One of the things that art is extremely good for those of you watching, is causing you to disengage from the outer mind and get
Yeah,
into the inner aspects of yourself. And
exactly.
here's the reason, the barrier that people have, because they've seen art before in galleries and so on. And as I said before, they want to look like the picture. The painting that you paint in full engagement with yourself is a masterpiece. It doesn't matter if it's
Yes.
blotchy or whatever else, it's what's inside there. And one of the greatest things that I could say with art is that the first time you pick up a paintbrush, keep that canvas, keep it. Look at yourself 5 years down the line and what you're painting. Look at the
Yeah.
refinement of yourself, like journaling. I'm coming to you, Kylie. Trust me, this is a segue, right? Look at what you're writing. Look at what you've done then. Look at what it is evolving into as you start to disengage from trying to look like other people's pictures and be your own picture. When the confidence grows and your art starts to refine itself into this, and you're like, who's painting this? You're painting this. You're painting it. What you did in the beginning was you trying to bridge between what other people's stuff looks like and what you decide to look like, which is why, my dear, my suggestion still stands. You need to probably take up art and consciousness as a teaching tool, because there's a whole bunch of people. If you ask them to meditate, they may not meditate. You ask that it's difficult for them or whatever. If you ask them, okay, you're going to magic school, you're going to whatever school and so on, they may be intimidated by that. But ask them, yo, pick up a pencil and a pen. We're beginning.
Nice.
And I ask you to draw what's inside your head right now. For
Nice.
those of you who are
Oh, look
listening, you
pretty.
might want to try that as an exercise at your home. Draw what's inside your head right now. Notice I didn't give you a picture. I told you to draw what's inside your head. That's it. Just do that. All right? See how that works. And if you all are drawing it, post it and let Roxandra take a look at it and tell you the things that are happening.
Write to me if you want.
Correct. Absolutely post it and let Roxandra help you with that stuff. Because I think there's a lot that you could be. You're a gift to this community in what you're doing already. But a lot of people need that kind of therapy. They do.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
so something
And I
that
want to
was-
help people.
Something that was mentioned by all of you here,
Mhm.
that creative process. So whether it's Anthony with his camera, so when he's holding the camera, he's in the process,
Correct.
not caring what's coming out, what's going to be created. That's to be determined. It's being in that moment, looking at the light, looking at the energy of the person.
And being
Or with
present.
with Roxandra, as she described, she was channeling information, just doing the thing, not knowing how it's going to come out. I think that's important. That trust in creativity within all of us that exists.
Correct.
You don't have to judge. Just enjoy that moment, that few moments or duration of time that you're engaged in it. Be in it, and don't judge yourself. Don't be fearful of what's going to come out. It's going to come out perfectly. Just let it flow.
Yeah, and speaking about judgment, let's talk to the lady who talks to herself. Hey, Kylie,
Hi.
you write.
Hi.
You write things into existence and you write things out of existence.
Yeah.
Right? The pen is indeed mightier than the sword. And so let's start with that. On that note, on that theme, Okay, so I read your revocation, very heartfelt stuff. It's coming from other places clearly. So my question to you is, what is the process that you are in when you're writing these revocations? What happens to you? Like, I know Anthony looks at you, talk to yourself, and it's like, oh, she's talking to herself again. Well, I'll just continue my camera here. Right, tell me.
Well, he knows if it's a good day or a bad day to get out of my way. So yesterday, I think Mercury retrograde, there was a lot of planetary influence going on yesterday, and I was starting to feel in my body I was frustrated or cranky about something, and I went, wait, this is not mine. I don't own this, so stop. Where did that come from? Where is it in my body or out of my body?
We were all feeling this yesterday. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just went, this is not mine and this is not on. I did not accept this. So I did the, oh no, you didn't. and so you go, where does that come from? Who or what is sending that out there? Just because something is happening to you or that you've called in or that you're a frequency match for or a vibration match for, you don't have to accept it. You can say, thank you for whatever lesson you are sending to me. I acknowledge you. I acknowledge your existence, but I don't accept how you're affecting me. And I don't want to receive that. I revoke receiving it in that way. Send me the lessons through in a way that's more kind and compassionate, in a way that I can interpret and understand what you're sending, why you're sending it, and that I can interpret and detect, is it beneficial for me? Is it negative to me? Is it positive to me? Do I want what you're selling? If not, then close the door on the salesman, because sometimes you just don't need it. Even if it's a planetary influence, you can say no. And you can put your protections up around that. You can go out and do ceremony, ritual around that. I like to put salt around my house and crystals, and I have watches, a watcher, posted around the yard, in the house, in the bedroom, doing different kinds of psychic surgery on influences that do come in. And I'm human, some things do decide, oh yes, I'm just going to have a peek in there and see what Kylie's up to today. And if my awareness is, if I'm aware that I am reacting to something or someone in a way that's not beneficial, then it's my responsibility to deal with that and to not, because the way that you react to something, your energy goes somewhere. Your reaction creates an energy, a frequency, a vibration. And so my reaction could be, and emotions could be affecting Anthony. And so he has a bad day because of how I'm feeling, because I chose not to be responsible for my reactions. So you can fix that by revocation of the thing that you don't want, and then invocation of the thing that you do want. But you don't do that from a place of telling that planetary influence off. You do it from kindness and compassion. You acknowledge that, we are all one at the end of the day. If you're speaking like that to that planetary influence, and you're speaking to yourself like that. So treat others as you want to be treated yourself. Golden rules.
Excellent. I'm going to do one more thing, and then we're going to go through an exercise. You guys up for an exercise?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how it is. Amir.
Yep.
You're the last person on this panel that I'm going to interview. Hello, everybody. Amir, he makes bracelets. He does. And he's quite a color guy.
I'm in the bathroom.
It's, crystals are beautiful entities. So sometimes I do a session with somebody and I feel the need to extend it beyond that hour or 2 hours that I'm directly working on them. So I choose the crystals that are uniquely suited to the individual for the unique purpose that they desire. So it could be protection, could be healing, could be awakening gifts, so many different things. I've made hundreds of different bracelets for people. most of them gifts, and they keep working. So what I do, I find the best crystals available globally, but these entities have journeys. They come through different lands, go through different people. So for example, the last batch that I purchased came from Ukraine. Very, very rare crystal called Newmite. As soon as I received the package, I could feel this incredibly heavy energy. Well, of course, there's a war going on. So everybody who touched these was giving it a little bit of sorrow. It took quite a while to cleanse these. So that's just now you have like a blank canvas, which is that crystal. Then you start programming. Each one, you do prayers upon them. And so you infuse that cleansed crystal with a certain energy. And then once these crystals are charged, you have to dedicate them to Source, the Prime Creator, so that they can't be discharged or infiltrated later by another person who doesn't have good intentions. And then, of course, comes the matter of harmony. So which two crystals go next to each other? Is there a natural flow as they sit beside each other? And then there's a matter of cleansing and keeping them charged and empowered. Certain crystals don't need cleansing, certain ones do. So you make sure to incorporate the ones that are permanently clean, so to speak. They're like Teflon, nothing sticks to them. So you have to put certain crystals in each combination. So harmony with crystals. And then once it's sealed, I do 3 sessions on them. So it takes quite a while. I can't mass produce these. It's a work of love. So similar to 3 sessions that you do with a person to turn them into a master of Reiki, I do 3 sessions with the crystals. So they're permanently attuned to the energy. For the person that's wearing them, it's like they're continuously receiving healing from a master. So yeah, that's one of the expressions I found with crystals. I just vibe nicely with these. So yeah, I've got some around my neck. I've got some around my wrist. I've got a whole little collection of these guys, all in their little packages, cleansed and ready to go. And so when I'm working with a client, sometimes I feel the need to do this. So I pick the crystals out one by one. Oh, I feel this will work for you. Oh, this little guy, this is calling your name. And so we've got the blueprint, and then I go into the flow of creation. And sometimes it just, it doesn't work certain days. I got to wait 2 days, and then boom, I can do 3 sessions in one go. But that's one of the things I do.
Excellent. Hello, guys. Here's what I'm going to do right now. Every one of you put all of your artwork into your head. Every revocation you wrote, everything that you've been painting recently, every photo that you've taken, every crystal that you've touched. We good? Are we good?
Go ahead. Techno mentor.
Give me 1 second, please. Once upon a time, long ago, on a planet called Anyone, there lived a young man who was in search of a particular crystal. The crystal's name is Amir. Pass. I'm passing the ball. We are passing the ball. We are weaving a story. One of the things that I'm good at is weaving. Yes. What is the name of the crystal? What is he looking for? What is this man looking for?
Let's continue the journey. The crystal called Amir existed, but the man did not know what the crystal looked like. The man didn't know where the crystal existed. So then he turned and asked for help from a very powerful light worker who could go into the astral, sense the energy of the crystal, and make a drawing of it. Not only what the crystal looked like, but what the landscape holding that crystal in its arms looked like. And so he went to this gifted light worker, told her what he was searching for, and then she began her magical gift and started creating. Roxandra, I pass the ball to you.
I love this. What did y'all not think that David would do some shit like this, right? Keep going. Roxandra, paint us that picture, please.
I think I know what this is all about. It's from a distant planet that I have been visiting myself, and it's blue ice giant planet, and it has large icebergs, not the ones that you've seen on Earth, something in the shape of a crystal, like a crystal clusters icebergs. And the crystal that this man is searching grows everywhere there, and in different sizes, and even it looks like a very rare crystal on Earth, but there it grows everywhere. And if you take a tiny Jeremjevite on Earth, there it grows everywhere, and that tiny piece can heal your soul from source to the lowest incarnation possible. It can bridge you. And you can also bridge yourself without using that crystal by really knowing what to aim for and what to revoke. And I feel that Kylie knows better what you need to revoke in order to find that inner being coherence and light, even without having to go to crystals all the time. And she knows better that wisdom that can help you gain that being coherence once again. I pass the ball of light to you, Kylie, and I hope that you can guide us all to remember ourselves fully.
I am anyone, and I place myself into and the entirety of my being and my DNA lineage ancestors into a multiversal spiritual court of equity for the purpose of finding and searching for the crystal that I know is named Amir, who I also place into this multiversal spiritual court of equity to find this crystal and to find this light worker that will assist me to do my great work today. I place all aspects of myself into this multiversal spiritual court of equity, and I turn on all aspects of myself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and I create strong protective boundaries, and I develop my own discernment about who can and cannot enter this sacred space of these boundaries. As I do my astral search, I revoke all blockages that are stopping me from knowing this information for myself and doing my own research. I send you for healing to the Grand Central Sun. These blockages are not my own. They do not belong to me. These blockages are cleared under grace with ease and in perfect ways. And I now invoke my own rights to stand up and use my own intuition and discernment. I invoke the distant planet of blue ice, the giant planet, the icebergs, the crystal clusters that grow in different sizes, and I take a tiny piece of it because I know that it has welcomed me and invited me to be part of its life with respect and love, kindness and compassion, because it too has a mission. Its mission and my mission as a collective contract is to heal the soul from source to the lowest aspects of myself, and I share this information and wisdom to the entirety of my DNA lineage and to myself as this I am being of the now. And I take this piece of crystal, I plant it into Mother Earth, Gaia, in my physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, all aspects of myself, all aspects of Mother Earth, Gaia. And I share this out with the all that is for those who wish to also share in this healing and blessing so that they too can be healed. I send my love, thanks, and gratitude to all who have attended to this healing, to this blessing, and I call upon the beautiful aspects of this crystal, the information and the wisdom that is meant to come through for us in every now moment to be sent to my past, present, and future generations of myself, under grace with these and imperfect ways. Aho.
Aho. Anthony, what does the landscape look like after all of that?
I'll share my screen.
Sure. Let me just give you the share screen capability there. Oh,
Can you see
My
that?
favorite image.
yes, I can see that.
There
I
is a
see it.
place where this Amir crystal grows, and I've traveled there on your blue-eyed planet with the ice forming. There's a warm heart space where all that ice melts and it cascades down into this hidden valley, into a special waterfall. And on first sight, it might be concealed, but you'll see in the shape of the rock the symbol Raku.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the rock forms down in a lightning pattern. There's cascades of crystalline water that naturally forms these crystals. It's their source.
I see
And,
it.
it's quite magical there. You can sit in the stillness, hold your hands out and feel just gentle puffs of that come from the fall of the water. You'll feel mist spray. The air has a sweet scent and there is a deep sense of peace. Truly is the home of the Amir crystal and the start and the end of the crystal's journey.
Thank you. Thank you. You can share your screen or you're not. Thank you very much, UCM Creative Team. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
Didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, I know y'all didn't
I want
expect
to
that to
paint that
happen.
place.
Yeah, I want to visit that place too. I am going to visit that place. It's the last thing I do. So, guys, these
So
are
thank
the UCM creatives, the visual arts creatives, and we want you guys to get in touch with them. They're all in business. They are amazing, as you've seen. And the reason why I did that little exercise at the end is to let you know they're not bricks. No, they're not. Real people doing real things. Now that you've seen their skill set, if you have any requests in terms of business, or if you want to, oh my, and of course we left out one of the creatives.
Another guest.
Oh my, the cuteness, the cuteness,
Too much.
the cuteness. Okay, right. If you guys, yeah, that just disconnected all the business and interview skills that I just had. Like, I'm like, I want to hold that kitten. Anyway, as I was saying, if you guys have any kind of business that you need done, please contact one of these guys. And if you can't find them on Facebook, email us at info@universalcitizentv.com and we will forward your request to them. It's been an honor, a real, genuine, from the heart honor to share a panel with you guys. Thank you so much.
It's been a really fun
Thank you.
way to spend the morning. Thanks for the invite. And it's always a pleasure to work with you guys. And what you guys do too is creative and amazing and very inspiring to people. So I'll turn it back to you, David and Amir. Thank you for what you do. I know you always shy away from any glory. I know you're not the gurus, but you're doing very important work and it's very much appreciated. And we love you guys.
All right, guys, we will talk to you guys a little bit later. Panel, stay on. Other than that, I'll see you guys real soon. Take care.